Today, we're going to tackle a little puzzle that seems simple on the surface, but is actually surprisingly revealing. It's all about what a typical 3-year-old can do. And the answer tells us something really fundamental about how we all grow and learn, literally one step at a time.
So let's dive right into this developmental puzzle.
Okay, so here it is. Imagine you're assessing a 3-year-old. Of these 5 skills you see here, which one should they have already gotten the hang of? Is it dressing themselves, drawing a stick figure, tying their own shoelaces, hopping on one foot, or climbing stairs?
Go on, take a second. What's your gut feeling on this one? Don't overthink it, just pick the one you think comes first. Lock in your answer.
All right, you got your answer? Let's see what the correct milestone is. And more importantly, let's unpack why it's the right one. And the answer is E, climb stairs. If you chose that one, nice work. But hey, if you pick something else, you are definitely not alone. The real key here, the most important part of this whole explainer, is understanding the reason behind it. It really all just boils down to timing. See, learning to climb stairs, putting one foot after the other, is a huge physical milestone that doctors expect to see in that 2 to 3-year-old window. Everything else on that list, it all just happens later. So let's take a closer look at this early achievement and figure out why climbing stairs comes first on the developmental checklist. This 2 to 3-year window, it's kind of the magic sweet spot. It's a really well-documented period where kids are mastering a very specific and very important type of skill. It's because climbing stairs is what's called a foundational gross motor skill. Now, that sounds a bit technical, right? But all it really means is that it uses the big muscles. It builds on stuff the child has already figured out, like walking and balancing. You can think of it like a fundamental building block that has to be solidly in place before the brain can even think about moving on to more complicated stuff. Okay, so if stair climbing happens early, what is it about all those other options that makes them so much more advanced? What comes later? You know, this timeline really tells the whole story. As soon as a kid masters a basic movement like climbing stairs, their brain and body are ready for tougher challenges. And you can see the pattern here, right? Hopping on one foot requires much more complex balance. Dressing yourself involves planning ahead. And then there's the incredible dexterity you need for drawing or tying shoelaces. I mean, that's a whole different ballgame. And that's the key difference. Tying a shoe isn't about raw muscle power. It's about super advanced, fine motor skills. Drawing a person requires symbolic thought. That's a massive leap in what we call cognitive planning. Each one of these skills demands a level of coordination and brain power that simply isn't developed yet at age 2. So let's zoom out for a second. When we pull it all together, this one little question actually reveals some really powerful rules about the entire developmental journey we all take. So here are the big takeaways. First, development is not random. It follows a pretty predictable sequence. Simpler skills have to come before more complex ones. It's like a ladder. You can't get to the top rung without climbing the bottom ones first. And it's also important to remember, these are flexible ranges, not strict deadlines. So understanding that sequence, that order of operations, that is the key to understanding growth itself.